here we are in my favorite time of the year. How about you, Melody?
Yes, all the burn months, they're the best.
It is absolutely the best. And, this summer, for me anyway, was very long and hot and wet. So much rain that I am just relishing the fall. I love it so much. I just cannot tell you how excited I am about it.
It's the lack of humidity. And it's the best homeschooling because we stay out on the back porch as long as we possibly can. And so it's perfect right now. I love it. It's wonderful.
Me too. And I hope that is true for all of you out there watching and listening as well. I'm Amanda Wares, and this is the Homeschool Show from North Carolinians for Home Education. I have with me my awesome co-host, Melanie Willis. Hey, Melanie.
Hello.
All right. What do we have for today?
So today we're going to talk about single parents. And I know, Amanda, you're going to talk a little bit about helps and some of the things that we have to offer there. And then we're going to visit our favorite subject, what we've seen on the internet, and answer a few questions that we've seen rolling around out there. And of course, we'll have some homeschool news. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about membership for NCHE.
Awesome. So great. So I love this episode is kind of near and dear to my heart because our single parent outreach falls under Homeschool Helps. So I have had the privilege of getting to know these ladies that we're interviewing today. And I think single parent homeschoolers are rock stars. I really do. I think, sometimes homeschooling itself can be such a challenge. And the idea in my mind of doing it as a single parent, where you're also, providing for the family and all the other things, and doing it without that partner to support you there it feels overwhelming to me. And so when I look at these single parent homeschoolers, I'm saying to you out there listening and watching, you are heroes. You really are. And I think it's amazing.
So, Amanda, this summer at our Thrive conference, Michael Smith sat down and spoke with Karen Perez about her single parent journey.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Welcome. I am Michael Smith here again with the Homeschool Show, and I am here sitting with Miss Karen Perez. She is our Region 8 liaison. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you about being a homeschool mom, specifically a single homeschool mom. So I'm kind of just curious, what's your story with that? And then what is your perspective of the difference of, versus being a married homeschool mom? That's a different experience than being a single homeschool mom.
It's a big difference. So wasn't the original plan and desire and dream. That was not the childhood fairy tale dream that I had wanted. Ultimately wasn't my choice and decision, but that ended up being a place where I found myself and my children and I found ourselves. And we know that God does not waste anything. So there's a lot of yucky parts to the story, and there's a lot of beautiful parts. So I'm a little bit stubborn and decided that was a plan that had originally been a joint decision. And it was one that I felt was really vitally important, especially in that time of a really tough season. It was important more than ever to maintain that. So I continued to figure out how to keep being a homeschool mama and provide what I felt then and still feel was the best environment and education for my kids. And through prayer and a really great community and tribe and church and homeschool group, I was able to do that. So I have two boys. I have graduated both of them. I have one who's about to be a senior in college, and I have one who just finished his freshman year in college. So far, a success.
So how many do you have left in the coop?
I just have the two boys.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
I'm an empty nest mom, still connected to homeschooling because I think it's a pretty fantastic avenue for families to choose.
I love that. So just double clarifying. So you have always homeschooled them?
No,
No?
no. So
Okay.
actually, I started in public school.
Okay.
Um, Previously was a military family and moved around quite a bit. My oldest son had some special needs. He was on the spectrum. And when he started kindergarten, that was a bit of a struggle. There was a deployment going on, ended up moving, early diagnoses of things and some learning disabilities. And so just moving a lot of different schools, ultimately, even in a private school for a year, I made the decision, actually, at the time we had made the decision homeschooling would be good. So I brought him home, my oldest home, in fourth grade and started just with one homeschooling and then ended up moving to where I currently live now, which is near Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Bragg, and ended up with both. And I think 12 years, I think it was like a maybe 11, 12 years of homeschooling journey.
Wow.
So it was a lot, but we started in public school before we made the switch.
That's awesome. So then I'm curious, how does NCHE fit into all of that? Because again, now you're a region liaison. But
Yeah.
has NCHE always been a part of your homeschool journey, or did it kind of come on more recently?
So it came on the last couple of years when I moved. So a lot of formerly military spouse, a lot of homeschool mamas are pretty resourceful. A lot of military homeschool mamas are very resourceful. And so knowing that you always have moves that you're making, I was looking for where am I going? What's there? What's the state level support? What are the rules? How moved from Florida to North Carolina, very different. So kind of stumbled across NCHE. I think I actually became a member that first year that I moved. And then I didn't renew and I kind of got plugged in a little bit locally. But it wasn't until a couple of years later that I ended up reconnecting, came to the homeschool conference. I think I actually came the first or second year. I normally have come every year. So just
That's awesome.
making the connections, getting to know people. And the more that I got to know people locally, one of our NCHE favorite members is Miss Diane. And Diane and I live in the same area. We were connected through friends and a local group. And so I just kind of connected more with her. And she ended up reaching out and asking me 2, 3 years ago to consider being a liaison. And the timing worked out well. And I said yes.
That's awesome. I'm glad you did.
Me too.
So if there's any homeschool moms, again, it's maybe single homeschool moms watching this, what would be your word of encouragement, your word of advice, just your word to them? What would you want to say to them?
God doesn't waste your story. And sometimes being a single mama is a really hard story. But in that hardness, there's an incredible, beautiful story. And God uses you and you are called for your children. And so while it may not be the ideal path and choice to be a single mom, and sometimes it becomes a choice out of necessity, but don't stop, don't quit. You can do it. Part of NCHE is a huge support within that. You need a tribe and you need a lot of single mamas are kind of tough, stubborn mamas, and we don't like asking for help and we need help. And there is a wealth of information. There is a wealth of support from your local liaisons, from the higher level coming to a conference. For me, making a priority at the end of the year, I kind of used it to refresh, to kind of take a moment to reset, to look back and to refocus for what I was going to do the next year. And I needed to be with like-minded people. I needed to see families. It was really important for me to see godly men who were leading their families well. And even though we did not have that, that was something that my heart needed. My kids had come with me a couple of times. My children needed to see that. I needed mentorship of other mamas. I have always needed women in my life who have gone beyond me. I needed to be able to go to them and say, okay, this is the season that my kids are in, and I love them, but they're driving me crazy, and I feel like I'm failing and I don't know what to do. How did you survive this? We have so many seasoned mamas who have done that. And it's important to go and to learn curriculum. Sometimes we get caught up in the vendor hall and we can become overwhelmed. But at the end of the day, your relationship with your children, how you love the Lord, how you lead your children to know the Lord, that becomes the most important thing. But here, when you come to conference, you are surrounded by all of that, and it gives you an opportunity to really just kind of take that all in and to be encouraged in that route, because it can be really challenging sometimes. But asking for help, knowing where to go and ask for help, and not being afraid to ask for help. A lot of prayer for me, a lot of coffee. I like coffee. So prayer and caffeine and support has really made all the difference. So I don't know what that means.
That's awesome. And if you're okay with it, I'd love for you to pray real quick
I would
over
love
our
that.
homeschool
Oh,
families or homeschool mamas watching this.
I would love that. I'd be happy to
Awesome.
do that. So, Heavenly Father, Lord, we need you. Um, we need you. It's not cliche when we say every hour of every day. Lord, just in this moment specifically, I pray for all of our homeschool families, but I specifically pray for a couple of particular type of families. I pray for our single mama families. I pray for our single parent families. So it's easy sometimes just to say single mom, but we have a lot of single dads as well. But I pray for those who are struggling and feel that they are alone and that it's different than the original path that they had originally prayed for and hoped and desired. But I just pray for encouragement. I just pray that you will just guide them, that you will lead them and hold them, that you will equip them. It is a calling. It is a challenge. It is a calling, but we know that when you call us, you equip those that you call. I just pray that you will allow each of these families to be surrounded with an incredible tribe, with support, with people who just pour into them, people that they learn from. I pray for the children. I pray for the children just to know that their mom and dads, these single parents, are sometimes, while they feel that they are giving it their all, sometimes we feel like we're kind of failing in that journey. But I just pray that they will see the heart and the passion that they have for you, Lord, and that would just be poured into their lives. I pray for children to grow up in these homes, to know you, to seek you, to make you known in their lives. I pray for the unity of the family, even if it looks different, that you will strengthen them, you will guide them. I pray that others will come alongside them and speak into them and hold them accountable and help them and love them. We just pray for strength, for encouragement, for guidance. And we just pray that you will cast a vision that is long term. And I ultimately pray for the relationship between children and parent, and that you are the center of that relationship, and that you will equip them on that homeschooling journey long beyond even graduation, and that you will just be a cornerstone in these families' lives. And we just ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. If you watch this and you would like to connect with NCHE, you can head to nche.com and find your region, find who to connect with. We'd love to connect with you. And thank you so much for sitting with me.
Thank you. I love the opportunity to even just to pray. So I feel like that's a big part of just being able to find people that can pray with you. So if nothing else, find people. We are, I think, from all of the liaisons to all of the people that serve with NCHE, I think it's fair to say any one of us would love an opportunity to just pray over any of the families that are there. So definitely do that.
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time.
All right. I think that Karen, she's a regional liaison. She is still here serving, even though she has graduated both of her boys from her homeschool. I think it's so awesome. And I loved her encouragement to other single homeschoolers out there or just homeschoolers out there. She said, "You can do it. You are called for your children." I love that. And she said that God doesn't waste anything. That really spoke to me. I thought it was just really powerful and just encouraging. I thought it
Yeah.
was really encouraging.
And I think it speaks volumes that her children have graduated, but she still wants to be involved with homeschooling. Isn't that amazing how homeschooling just kind of grabs a hold of our life and it takes over? I think that's wonderful.
Absolutely. I love it too. And, we are going to be talking about membership in a little bit. And she did mention how much NCHE and particularly the conference was such a help to her and such an encouragement to her. So I thought that was really important too.
Definitely. Definitely. And so as we move on, you sat down recently with Kadesha, and you can tell everybody a little bit about who Kadesha is now.
Yes, absolutely. So, as I have talked about a few times in different episodes, as a homeschool helps team, we have representatives for a lot of these particular demographics, particular circumstances that people are homeschooling in. And Kadesha is the newest member of the helps team, and she is representing and reaching out, supporting single parent homeschoolers. So she is our single parent homeschool support coordinator, and she's just a delight. I had asked, reached out to see if anybody would be interested or really have that heart to support other single parent homeschoolers. And she was so just enthusiastic and just really had a heart to serve and to take the encouragement and the experience that she's had and really pour that out to other parents. And I just love that. So I think you guys are going to enjoy this interview, definitely.
Let's give it a listen.
Okay, I am here with Kadesha Howard. Hey, Kadesha.
Hi.
So I am so excited to introduce you to our audience out here, all the watchers and listeners. Kadesha is the newest member of the Homeschool Helps team. She is our single parent support coordinator. So, Kadesha, can you just introduce yourself, first of all? Just tell us a little bit about you and
Okay.
your kiddos, all that.
Okay. Well, like you said, my name is Kadesha Howard, and I've been homeschooling for around, I'm gonna say 15 years. Take a little, a few years here and there.
Sure.
I have 3 kids. My oldest is actually 23. My daughter is 17, and my youngest is 10. I started homeschooling my oldest, but it was like later in the years, maybe like 6th or 7th grade. And he really wasn't doing too good in the school system. So I just took him out, and I started homeschooling him from there, but he still wasn't doing too good in the school system. So when he got to age, he got his GED, and he started going to school and working from there. My daughter is 17. I homeschooled her from 4th grade to 9th grade. So she's actually got one more year before she graduates, and then she's going to college in Greensboro. And my youngest is 10, and I homeschool him from birth. I actually
Yep.
put him in a charter academy for 3rd and half of 4th grade, but it really wasn't going too well. Not with him, it's just the system anyway. So I just took him out, and now I'm just homeschooling him.
Here you are. That's right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a good example of, you do what's best for your kids and what's
Yes.
working for your family in the
Mhm.
circumstances you're in at the time. And
Yeah.
sometimes you need to change things. And I
Mhm.
think that's a great example of that. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. So, what caused you or what motivated you to want to serve as our single parent support coordinator?
Okay, well, I wanted to step into this role because I know firsthand how overwhelming it is to homeschool, especially as a single parent. And many
Mm.
parents feel isolated or judged or unsure of what to do or if they're doing enough. So I wanted to be like a support system to remind parents that they're not alone in homeschooling and it can be done successfully. And even if you don't have like the traditional family setup.
Yeah, I love that. That is so cool. All right. What do you find are some of the challenges of homeschooling as a single parent? I think you kind of mentioned a couple of those, but you can say it
Yeah,
again or elaborate or say other things. Yeah.
balancing time, like working and schooling and parenting at the same time. It's like you have to find a balance between everything, and that can be kind of overwhelming. And financial strain is kind of like, I don't want to say it's hard, but it can be hard, especially having just
Mhm.
one income. And
Yeah.
the lack of outside support, like a lot of times your family and friends, they a lot don't understand what you're trying to do or like educational wise, they just don't really support what you're doing. That's kind of what I was been going through. Is like, why are you taking them out of school and this and that? I said, it's reasons why I'm doing this, but that sometimes I just
Yes.
don't understand it, and it
Yeah.
could be emotional, like exhausting, but it's rewarding. The outcome is very rewarding.
That's awesome. Yeah. I think that kind of leads me to a question. When you first homeschooled,
hmm
for whatever time, like your oldest, you homeschooled a little bit.
hmm
Did you get a lot of pushback from your family and kind
Yes,
of your community? Yeah.
yes. My mother was the
Mm.
biggest one because she's really old school, and she was like, I was taking him like I always been a teacher and educated and doing things like that, but it was like she was the main one because she didn't want me to take him out of school. She wanted me to have him there, and I was like, "There's no reason he's not progressing. He's not learning." Like kids have different learning styles, and that he was one that just could not keep up. And I
Yeah.
was like, I need to just take him out, and wherever the gaps are, or whatever he needs to his like particular support, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, like she just didn't understand that, but now it's like she's glad to do that. She's
Yeah.
glad that I'm doing it.
Yes. Yeah. I think over time, people they see the success and the things that come, and then they kind of change their tune a little bit. I've seen that with a lot of people. That's awesome. All right, let's see. What would you like other single parent homeschoolers to know? What would be your kind of message to them?
I would tell them that they are capable, even
Mm.
if it feels like too much. Don't compare your
Mhm.
homeschool to everyone else's because your family is not like everybody else. You have, unique things that go on in different families. So, like with me, I don't compare what I do and how I teach my son to anybody because he has a particular learning style. He has needs and different things. And
Mhm.
I tell him that your strengths and passions enrich your child's learning because I go by my passions. My passions are writing, and I am a herbalist too, so I incorporate herbalism into my child's lessons too. And
Neat.
yeah, so it's like I want to tell them that community is everything. Don't be scared to ask for help because reaching out is like a sign of strength. And just celebrate your small victories, and because every step counts.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing
Mhm.
that. And what about families out there, in the homeschool community that are not single parents? What would be something you would tell them? How can,
Mm.
sometimes I see other single parent homeschoolers and maybe I want to help, or maybe, What can I do? What would be something you would share with them?
So for the non-single parents,
Mm-hmm.
I think from what I haven't really experienced this, but I have seen other families experience things like, they'll come to me and say, "I've asked, uh, non-single parents for help or, like,
Mm.
resources, and it's like they're not helping me or what's going on? Why do I feel like they're treating me differently because I'm a single parent homeschooler?" And
Ah,
I just like to say to them, like, recognize the extra weight that single parents carry while homeschooling and, like, offer support, even if it's study groups or shared activities or anything like that, and understand that every homeschool looks different. And just because it's single parents and non-single parents, everybody can work together and just collaborate because it's all for the kids.
I love that. That is beautiful. Thank you so much, Kadesha, for joining me, talking a little bit. This is awesome. Thanks.
So I have to say, listening to her and listening to her struggles, ultimately, most of us as homeschool parents would say, yes, this is a struggle for all of us. And so, then we have to sit back and say, well, this is a struggle for us. How much more so if you're alone? And, she talked about her family not necessarily being overly supportive there. And a lot of our families are like that. We've
Yes.
had struggles with, extended family that just doesn't understand. But at least I think for most of us, as we've just finished this dad series and talking about how supportive the dads can be. I've had that. I have had a dad that has stood beside me every step of the way and helped me through this homeschool journey. And so having all these struggles that, we talk about as homeschool parents in general, but then doing it alone,
Yeah.
do need somebody to come along beside you and say, I've got you. I can help. I'm so thrilled that
Absolutely.
she's doing what she's doing for NCHE.
I am too. And I think just having her, having, other people, having Karen, she's a regional liaison, having people that have been through, have walked through that situation, be able to just speak into and encourage other single parent homeschoolers out there. I think that's just invaluable.
Yes,
And I
definitely.
love that both of them talked about the importance of community, like what you were just saying, the importance of having that support system around you, and how much more so if you don't have a partner right there beside you to provide some of that support. So I thought that was really great.
Okay, so let's listen to some homeschool news.
Hello, this is Michael Kantz, student intern with the NCHE, here to bring you your homeschool news. There are still tickets available for Liberty Mountain, the revolutionary drama that will take place in Kings Mountain on Thursday, October 2nd. This live theater event retells the American Revolutionary War's Battle of Kings Mountain. Following the performance, there will be a session for audience members to ask questions of the performers and reenactors. There will also be a historical firearms demonstration in Liberty Mountain Garden adjacent to the theater. Please visit our website at nche.com and select Activities and Field Trips for more information and to purchase tickets. Tickets are also now on sale for Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol. This event will take place in High Point on Wednesday, December 10th. We hope you will come out and join us for this wonderfully festive time as we relive this famous story of the change in the heart and life of Ebenezer Scrooge. Until next time, this is Michael Kantz with your homeschool news. Have a great day.
Okay, so we have spent this month of September focusing on membership. And I really hope that all of you out there that are watching and listening, that you have, really resonated with these different aspects, these different approaches to membership and the parts of the membership that really speak to you. I know that I have found so much value in being a member of NCHE all of these 21 years that we have homeschooled. And so now we just want to kind of wrap up do a little summary of what value there is in your NCHE membership. So, with your NCHE membership, you get lots of perks. You're not just part of an awesome community. With your membership, you get a bundle of 5 MP3 recordings from our Thrive conference. This is a $25 value, and you get one every year. When you renew your membership renews, you get 5 more recordings. We have 4 bundles to choose from. You can get a bundle of specially curated recordings, special needs focus, elementary focus, high school focus, and new homeschoolers. So those are really great. That's an awesome value just right there. But there are so many other wonderful perks that you get as a member. Melanie, you want to tell us about some of those?
Yes, so this year you can get a My Homeschool Planner for the year 2025 to 2026 that you can download and create it, just make it your own. And then also, as a member, you get 3 free mentor sessions. So that's $90 worth of mentor sessions that you get for free just for being a member. And after that, you get 50% off any additional meetings. So that's huge. And I know I am one of the mentors, and I love speaking with these homeschoolers that have questions. And there are so many more things, Amanda.
Yes, absolutely. So you also will get a print copy of our Greenhouse magazine, which is wonderful. It is beautiful and so helpful and encouraging. There's great articles, just really great. You'll get that 3 times a year in your mailbox. You will also get a $10 discount off your Thrive conference registration. That's amazing. You will get a monthly members email that has awesome insider information, exclusive resources, and discounts that are just for our members, such as some of those might be early access to certain field trips. This is wonderful. We've been talking for several weeks about like the Nutcracker field trip, for example, and how quickly that fills up. But if you're a member, you get first access to those tickets. So that right there, that's worth a lot. You, like we said, get the opportunity to participate in our members only graduation ceremony. And even if you don't participate in that ceremony, you can, as an NCHE member, get our members diploma that includes the NCHE seal, the president's signature, and a special, really wonderful professional looking cover for that diploma. Your student can apply for NCHE scholarships. So we give away scholarships every single year, but you must be a member for your student to apply for those. So guys, what are you waiting for? This is the time.
Well, and I'd love to input here. You know, we so often want you to realize that NCHE is here for you to help you along the entire journey. But most importantly, I think it's the things that are happening behind the scenes that are affecting your homeschool journey that you don't even realize, as far as the legal aspect. And NCHE is always working behind the scenes to make sure that your right to homeschool is protected. And that's just so important for all of us. And so it's just a great thing for your money to go towards having this membership with this huge value and being able to make sure that our homeschool liberties are protected.
That's exactly right. And, we've talked a lot about what a deal this is. You're getting so much value for your money. But we know that for some families, that $75 membership would be too much of a reach. So we do offer another more basic level of membership that is a lower price point, and you don't get all of those perks. You do get some, however. But if, your family's struggling, if you just are in a different place, we have had different seasons in our family's life financially. So that's why we offer that for you. If that membership level is too much of a stretch, we do have the basic membership that is offered as well. All right. Is that all we have for today?
That is all we have for today, Amanda.
Awesome. Okay, guys, as always, please help us out by liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends. Do you have a single parent that is in your community that could benefit from this show? Do you have people in your life that could benefit from being members, that maybe they have these questions about co-ops or diplomas, whatever it is, please share with them. It helps us, it helps them, and just really, we want to be an encouragement to the community out there. You can always reach us if you have any questions, comments, if you have any feedback or ideas for segments of the show. We really do read every single message that is sent to us, so please reach out to us at thehomeschoolshow@nche.com. Last but not least, keep on homeschooling with confidence and joy. Bye-bye.